Ngania, she'll take over on issue number 4 and 5.
Thank you, Honorable the Chief Justice, the judges of the Supreme Court. For purposes of record, my name is Melissa Ngania. I'm going to address the court basically on issue number 4 and 5 as framed by the court. The cornerstone and the grievance of the petitioners in regards to the two issues, number 4 and 5, is the question of the postponement of the gubernatorial elections, as well as the variance of votes within the elective positions. As to the mathematicals, the custodian of the numbers has demonstrated before this court this morning that there is actually no variance, and whatever variance could be explained. But more importantly, Honorable Chief Justice and the judges of the Supreme Court, what is the grievance against our client? That is William Samoei Ruto and Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. I would pick the choice of words as pleaded by the petitioners for obvious reasons. This is an election petition, a presidential election petition that has the crust of proving its standard to the required laid down principles in law. Now, this is what one Celestine Anyango tells us. She tells us that the grievance against my client is that a pattern throughout the country where the 9 respondents appears to benefit from a fraudulent paddling of votes in violation of the law. They are not sure of that. They've not laid a credible, tangent evidence as to the paddling of that votes to the benefit of our clients in this respect to warrant this court to annul the elections as conducted. But what is more disturbing is the position of the Kenyan voter. As laid down by my senior counsel, Fred Ngatia, that is to be found under Article 38 of the Constitution. But more importantly, we have a history as a country. We are a country that has been privileged to legislate on each and every issue that has been litigated before these courts. We are a country that even legislates on the time between which a president should be sworn in office, for obvious reasons, because of the history that has culminated around our electoral law jurisprudence. Now, the appreciation of the cornerstone of Article 38 then would seek refuge in the Constitution of Kenya Review Commission. This court, in the famous BBI case, categorically stated the history behind our constitutional making process. I'll not wish to regurgitate the same, but I'll beg the court, when you retire to write your judgment, to adopt your paragraphs of that decision, paragraph 415 to 441 in that respect. Again, Honorable Chief Justice and members of the Supreme Court, judges of the Supreme Court, then what culminated to the Article 38 of the Constitution. In the final review, for us to get the gist of the Kenyan voter, because all that we are trying to help this court to realize is that what was the will of the Kenyan voter as expressed in Form 34A. And the Kenyan voters said what they wanted, and that is to be found under article page 51 to 52 of that report. Now, coming to my submissions and Article 38 in that respect, their views were finally codified in our Constitution under Article 38 in that respect. For purposes of emphasis and so that we do not lose the trajectory of the Kenyan voter, this is what Article 38, Clause 3 says. Every adult citizen has the right without unreasonable restrictions. That is the underlying word. The Kenyan voter wants to vote without unreasonable restrictions, to vote by secret ballot in any election or referendum. What we've been told is that there has been the restrictions of postponement of gubernatorial elections. There have been the restrictions of what happened in Bomas. A Kenyan voter is not interested in that. They want their vote to be traced and traced with the precision that is required. How then do you trace the vote in that respect? Form 34A becomes crystal clear. The petitioners have not challenged Form 34A in that respect, so that the votes that were cast and tabulated in that respect remain unchallenged. And where they have challenged, we have demonstrated before this court that it is unfounded, it is based on generalization, and it is based on conjecture. It cannot stand at the test of what Kenyan voter would want. More importantly, also, Honorable Chief Justice and members of the Supreme Court, is that how then do you establish at the polling stations? Because the problem that we are having is that there are no agents who have demonstrated any problem with the voting at the polling station. Regulation 81 of the Election General Regulations provide what should happen after the voting has been conducted. That is, the valid votes to be put together, the rejected votes, unused ballots, and counterfolds. They are to be preserved for an election court. Nowhere have we been told that none of that happened, or that there was a problem with whatever happened at the polling stations. Honorable Chief Justice and judges of the Supreme Court, Justice Njoki Nugu in 2017, in her dissenting opinion, had this to say, that agents are very important part of the electoral process. These are the agents of the different presidential candidates. Now, if they are not present to certify their role, they should then not blame any other person in that respect. We have established with our agents and filed the affidavits in that regard that indeed the Form 34As were issued to us, and it reflects what IEBC posted in the portal. The petitioners have not discharged that burden. They cannot now come back and say that they would want to challenge an election by failing to do that which they are required in law to do. What has happened? We've been told a lot of stories. We have 8 petitions, all trying to explain a lot of things. In my concluding remarks, I'll seek refuge in the Holy Book. In Proverbs 10:19, it tells us this: when words are many, sin is not absent, but he who holds his tongue is wise. They've had to use 8 petitions to say what they want to say. In those abundant words, then sin cannot be lost in that respect. It will be my humble prayer that the petitions before this honorable court be dismissed. I'll take this opportunity to welcome my learned senior, Professor Kithure Kindiki, to address you on the 6th issue. I'm most obliged.